Welcome, solo queue heroes. Many attempts have been made to tackle game performance as well as champion performance. I, however, would like to go in depth with performance issues as well as making a tool or a mindset which can help reduce those issues. Shortly, who am I? I'm a diamond player which played the game ever since pre-season 1. I started at the same time Olaf came out, and I was pretty much successful ever since I learned to play the game, that being around the middle of season 1. I had a rating of 2186 as my personal highest of season 1 and around 2100 at the end of it. My success continued for a good long time before it suddenly didn't. I lost interest in the game, took breaks and found excuses not to perform. One of the most noticeable excuses I found in myself as well as others is to simply call a champion overpowered. If we call a champion overpowered, we subconsciously have an excuse not to perform against that champion. However, I cannot allow this to stop me from improving. I have to learn their kit and how to counter it. There's an old saying among players of all elo, I am better than my elo. Even though it might sound like an excuse, it's actually very true. And the stronger you believe that, the more correct it actually may be. However, there are many good reasons why you're currently not at your correct skill level. The most common one is referred to as tilting, losing track of focus, and perhaps even angered. Just like the excuse to perform, those are often connected. I usually say that everything is either a good or a bad habit, but of course, certain things come in place such as both your physical and mental health, attitude and surroundings too. If you surround yourself with players which have a positive attitude, they will rub off on you, just like people with a negative attitude will. To not complicate this any further, this should be a good example as to why you shouldn't flame your team. Tilting them isn't the correct answer. Don't form a bad habit or an excuse for when it's okay to flame. When it comes to physical health, it definitely helps to exercise. You cannot, however, let your mental health be the cause of your physical health. If the thought of going to the gym is too annoying or too stressful for you, it may not be for you, even though I highly recommend it. One of the most helpful things I noticed in this area is how much I pay attention to detail after going to the gym, especially map awareness. I personally recommend to go to the gym at least twice a week. When I started, if I did not go twice a week, I did not feel like going at all. The science on this is also very clear. It helps to stabilize your blood sugar to do muscle exercises. When it comes to cardio, I can recommend burst training. You can YouTube that up to find a better example. The short version of that is simply to get your pulse high. What I do is 10-second sprint, 10-second off, 6 times in a row on a treadmill. Another good question would be, how often do you actually have to play to improve your game mechanics? For me, I go with at least 2 games a day. For every other day you do not play, add in another 2. So on the 3rd day, if you haven't played at all, it would be 6 games in total then. When it comes to game knowledge, some people watch streams to improve, while other players go into games themselves to learn. There's no correct way to learn. However, if you watch a lot of streams, it would probably be better for you to play the game some more. Just the other way, if you play the game a lot, it will probably be better for you to watch some high elo players stream. When I started to watch streamers, it was back in season 1, which means that the 2 players I would watch play was Big Fat LP as well as Hotshot GG. Both of them had a very different playstyle, yet also very similar. Similar as in both of them knowing what to do in the game, while also being very different in playstyle. One of them being very aggressive, while the other was playing very passively. Hotshot GG played an aggressive Nidalee top lane, while Big Fat LP was mainly known for playing mid lane. Hotshot GG's playstyle was to put pressure on top lane all game, while Big Fat LP was playing the typical standard mid laner. But what impressed me the most was how at this elo, whenever an enemy jungler would go in to steal their blue buff and it was warded, both mid lane and bot lane would go in and collapse on him. So whenever someone got out of position, they would get picked up, but this was also back before anyone could dash past walls. Another thing I was very impressed with was how AD carries knew how to auto attack and move at the same time. Back in the days, that was very impressive. At the time, I had only learned how to play tank and bruises very well, so Hotshot GG's playstyle felt very natural to me. But Big Fat LP was very defensively, very passively, and very smart. All areas which I needed to improve a lot on, so his stream probably helped me more than Hotshot GG's stream did, even though it definitely also helped me. So at this point, I had decided to learn Twisted Fate, a champion which cannot be played as aggressive as other mid laners. He has to be played more cleverly, more smart, and more thoughtful. So I would watch Big Fat LP play Twisted Fate a lot. This brings me to another point. When I watched streams, it was actually archives of streams on a channel on YouTube called Wowza Guy. He uploaded videos of entire games 7 years ago, and I watched the videos which I watched from start to finish, and the reason why I did that is to make it as if I was playing the game, so I could understand the depth, the thought, and the process of the game and the player. I would recommend you to do the same. What I'm trying to get at is that if you watch streams from start to end, you will get all the details, and that will help you a lot more. As good as it is to discuss ideas and how to get better, it still doesn't change the fact that you will only be able to use the knowledge of which you have learned if you are motivated to actually put in the extra effort to think. If you're really talented in game mechanics and only seem to succeed when you're in a good mood, that might be led by something such as depression, which is my case, as well as too much worrying. If you worry about issues in your family, a recent breakup, or what you should be doing instead of playing in the game, such as homework, cleaning your apartment, eating too unhealthy, not having the right nutrition, or even going to the gym, it will have a negative effect to your game. So you need to find a time where you can focus on the game and only the game. That is also the only way to notice when you make mistakes, while not being in denial of them, or perhaps even too angered to want to admit to it. When it comes to food, there's a million guides you can try out, a million diets, but my best advice is really just to pay attention to what your body wants. Of course, it's gonna want sugar often, but things such as that, I'm sure you know by now that you need to say no to at times. But if it wants a beef, you know, give it a beef. If it wants something else, maybe give it that too. I personally eat too much meat and soda myself, so my doctor told me to try to stick to maximum half a liter of soda a day, as well as 200 grams of meat. But again, don't be paranoid about eating like 50 grams more of meat in your sandwich later on. In this video, I try to cover all the basic issues. However, I have not gone in depth with anything at all, which is what I would love to do in further videos, but I would like to see that you guys actually catch an interest in a video such as this. It's a different type of guide, and I think it will help some people more than the other type of guides, and that is also why, at least for now, I'm not going in depth with how to play one certain champion, even though I'm not against the idea at all. I would like you guys to write in the comments what you want to see me speak about next. Is it something more in depth, which I already discussed now, such as how to learn better game mechanics, game knowledge, a guide for a specific champion, or even ways to deal with anxiety and depression? So write a comment and I will make sure to feature you in the video, so you know that it is your question being answered. If you like the way I edit my videos, let me know. I will definitely get a better microphone at least for the next video, should this one reach 100 likes. Because, well, I kinda need to see if people are actually interested in a video such as this, because I put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into making this video. Thank you very much. If you like this video and want to see more of this, please leave a like. If you disagree with something I've said in the video, please go to the comments and tell me what. And as I've said before, please suggest what you would like to hear me talk about, or even what you would like to see me go more in depth with. Subscribe and like to see more of this.